All right, here we go. BG Knocc Out, welcome back.
What's up, Vlad? How you doing, man?
Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
One of my favorite repeat guests.
I'm glad, man. I'm glad of that. Thank you.
People love when you sit down here and give your opinion.
Right.
You keep it 100 and you have a very unique, point of view.
Yeah.
In terms of what you do. And
Absolutely.
It's always honest.
For sure.
And I think that's why people really mess with you here.
For sure.
Well, let's get into some current events first.
Okay.
And the most current is
Tekashi.
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah. Sad situation. I mean, what else can we say? Because he pretty much put himself in that situation. He asked for it, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And this is what people was trying to warn him about. And I know, like, the older guys, some of our tactics may be wrong when we approach the younger generation about what they're doing and their approach to things, you know what I'm saying? So, but he should have listened to somebody, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's just sad.
Well, he didn't come from a gang background.
It doesn't matter. So that should have told you better. You understand what I'm saying? And then if somebody got your best interest that's from a gang background, they supposed to warn you. You're supposed to be forewarned before you come into stuff like that.
Well, I have the actual audio. So I got to listen to not only what he said, but how he said it.
Right.
And it was kind of interesting. It was like he felt early on that if he had this whole gang persona,
right,
that it would help him with his sales. Here's this rainbow hair guy with a bunch of face tats with all these bloods.
That's not the gang persona. Where is the gang persona with rainbow hair? What did that?
Right. But what I'm saying is when you watch Gummo, his first video, he said, like, I think they said that he went out and bought like 30 bandanas for everybody. Like those weren't like people's actual bandanas.
Man,
he went
if
and
you
got
look
them in
at
bulk.
the videos from the 90s when people was really gang banging, you don't even see that.
Yeah.
You saw them banging on wax, maybe. But that's not the gang, that's not the approach. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how you know, like, you know.
Clearly not.
Yeah. So I don't understand, but it's whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he found some dudes that I think saw the potential, and they started fucking with him.
Right.
And he was saying he was financing the operation. You know, he said he joined 9 Trey Bloods.
Right.
And
9 Trey.
and he was paying different people and so forth and bringing money in, and they allowed him to be part of that whole crew.
Well, it's their fault, ultimately.
I think so.
Yeah. Ultimately, it's their fault. You know what I mean? So I hope it was worth it. That's all I could say. Because you got to know what the hell you're getting into before you get into it. You should know, you know.
Like the name of your gang is called?
Nutty Block. Yeah.
Nutty Block. Like if I told you, hey, man, I want to join Nutty Block right now.
See, I would be like, Vlad, I'll take you like a little brother and hit a corner with you like, man, come on, let's go get some ice cream. Because you got to, like, honestly, one of the mistakes of putting other people on a gang from other places is that they're not from where you're from. So they're strangers. You understand what I'm saying? So you really don't know. Because you really don't know the people that you think you know. You understand what I'm saying? Until something happened and then they prove you right or wrong or whatever, right? So when you accept somebody from the outside, they don't hold the thing dear to them as you do. So that's kind of already something you got to really watch for. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like allowing just somebody off the street into the mafia. Like, it's crazy.
It's a whole process.
Exactly.
It's a long process.
You have to prove yourself. Pretty
much.
Yeah. So you just join 9 Trey, get a bunch of bandanas, and just make a video.
Yeah. That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah. Okay.
There is the conversation now whether Tekashi was actually a plant from the very beginning.
It sounds, now that sounds plausible to me. That's a plausible argument.
Like, look, you got these charges here, sexual activity with a minor and stuff like that. You're facing 20 years, but
that alone,
if you go and do this, and this.
He should have been questioned after that.
Right, remember that whole thing. He was found guilty.
Of course, he pled guilty to something, right?
Yeah.
He pled out to that.
He pled out to it.
Exactly.
Look.
So who condoned that? Is that what 9 Trey do? I hope not.
I hope not too.
Yeah.
But, he could come in and they could like, all right, cool. go ahead and just run through this whole process. At the end of the day, you might get time served. We get to lock up all these guys.
Because it's a federal case, huh?
It's a federal case.
So there it is there.
So
yeah.
What's interesting, number one, we broke the story that he's cooperating. Like everyone was guessing and everyone was saying, yeah, but we actually had the paperwork first, and we had his baby mother actually read it.
I remember that.
Right. We're not going to run it because we ran it a whole bunch of times, but we broke that story.
And
that's been proven to be true since that time. And actually, when he got on the stand, he said that he offered to cooperate the day after he was arrested. So it wasn't a process where like...
He didn't have to think. He didn't have to think about it.
He didn't have to think about it. It wasn't a...
That's horrible.
Nothing he had to wrestle with there.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, I'm telling. Who do I tell?
Did you see the meme I posted?
I'm sorry?
Did you see the meme I posted?
No.
So I woke up this morning to a meme where somebody interjected me into the Jim Jones meme. I guess he mentioned Jim Jones and Cardi B in his in a trial. And then somebody interjected me into the meme, and I woke up to it. That shit went viral. It was funny. And people think it's real, but I don't even know this dude.
Oh, they took a VladTV post.
Exactly. That's why I thought you saw it. That's why I was like, bro.
They got you on VladTV.
Yes, sir.
Photoshop.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it seems to me like it's one thing to say, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to come in and I will give you this one name, and I'm not going to talk about nothing else.
Right.
Everything else is no comment. You want, let's say, Shotty. Is Shotty the one that you want? I'll talk about Shotty. I just want to say this.
Okay.
Ask me about Shotty. I'll answer Shotty questions, but I won't say anything else. But if you listen to his testimony, whoever they're asking about, he's throwing him under the bus. Wow. Whether it's Trippie Redd being a 5'9" brim blood, or Jim Jones being a 9 Trey blood.
Right.
They said Cardi B was mentioned, but they're saying it's not in the transcript, so they may have been falsely reported.
So that's some more shit, yeah.
He's naming everybody. He started naming in this one piece of audio that we put out. You haven't heard it yet, but we put out. He actually named this dude named Midnight, who he said was a high-ranking, big homie at the Smurf Village projects. Like he's actually saying this on the stand on tape.
Yeah, that's horrible, bro.
Like it's crazy.
But it's their fault because they were riding a wave with him. You understand what I'm saying? When it's all good, and money being spread around and you get to get on camera, everybody think it's all gravy. Now, you know what I mean? Like, y'all should have been thought about that, man. Some shit ain't worth signing up for. You know what I mean? Just period.
Yeah, he even talked about how Shotty shot up Trippie Redd's van and everything. He was going into detail. He was talking about putting the hit out on Chief Keefe.
Man, free Shotty.
Shotty got 15 years.
Damn. But is there some other people cooperating with him? I heard something like to that effect too. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Casanova gets mentioned as well.
Yeah, I saw that. But we seen the controversy with Casanova.
Yeah. I'm not sure who else is cooperating. I mean, there's so much focus on Tekashi cooperating that if anyone else cooperated, they probably wouldn't even hit the radar. Yeah. Not to say it's not happening. It's crazy.
It really is.
It's crazy. You think that Tekashi can't outdo himself, and then he outdoes himself consistently.
Fucking shame.
Well, they're saying he might get time served.
I saw that.
Think that'll happen?
With the feds, yeah.
When you see
if they they want a slam dunk. That's all they want. They want a slam dunk. They want what's that called? Like a highlight. You know what I mean? That's all the feds be wanting. If they get a highlight, shit. Whoever's prosecuting them, that's rank for them, So, come on.
Yeah. I mean, time served. I mean, what do you do? Like maybe 9 months, a year, something like that?
It don't matter. It'll be interesting to see where he go after this.
Well, he was facing 47 years.
Right.
They might give him like 5 just to
show of force. Put him in PC somewhere, Disneyland. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's not going to be on the main
no
line.
No.
He's not going to be in gladiator school. None of that type of thing.
Do
you think anything's going to happen to his family?
I hope not. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the wrong idea. Like, you should only go after the person you're after. Like, you know, if you're gonna do something like that, like, so I hope not.
Does that happen though?
Yeah, of course.
It usually happens before the testimony though.
Ignorance is misguided from the jump. You understand that?
Yeah.
So that's not always the right thing to do. You know?
Yeah. They actually even released the audio phone call with Jim Jones.
Oh, okay.
Of him
What'd
saying he I guess he was talking to Mel Murder, talk about how Tekashi needs to be violated.
See, he's stupid. Why would
Talking
you say
phone.
that?
He's on the phone.
Why would you say that? Now you can get indicted. This is a federal indictment. That's stupid. That's the wrong shit. Like,
I think that's what
too
triggered.
Close to the story.
And I think that phone call, because I remember when he got arrested, there was the whole thing that the Fed swooped in because they caught a phone call of them saying that he needs to be violated. So they were like worried for his life, I guess. They thought that he might be killed.
See?
And you always wondered who said that, and now it's apparently Jim Jones.
Like, shout out to New York, but I don't understand like why people ain't G-checking some of the moves, because you don't speak. You know, if somebody bring your name up, like, you don't want to say anything. Why would you want to say anything, bro?
Yeah.
This shit is going on daily, right? He's on trial, so this is every day. Like, shut the fuck up, Jim. Like,
well, no, this didn't happen recently. This happened like from a year ago.
oh, and there's something that they found?
Because
I've been seeing him responding.
It's
like,
part of the evidence. The evidence is coming out in court.
So what I thought you was talking about, because he's been responding to
No.
Okay,
this is an old phone call like from a year ago.
Okay.
Of him talking
but still, yeah. But shit, how long he been running with them anyway? It's been over a year, huh?
Tekashi,
yeah.
A couple of years.
So, yeah. And y'all waited for a year to want to violate him. The rainbow hair. God, bro. Yeah, if I took him to Compton, if I brought somebody to Compton with some rainbow hair, they'll kill me in that person. Like, what the hell wrong with you, bro?
Gummo came out October. Gummo came out October 8th, 2017. So almost 2 years ago is when things popped off.
And then all the shit that we've seen him do, we all witnessed him playing these games, and people been backing that.
Yeah.
So, hey.
I think it was the fastest ascension and descension I've ever seen.
Absolutely. Because usually it takes a little longer than that.
It takes much longer.
Yeah.
Usually you have like a 5-year run.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
But you know, New York is different because that's where the hip hop cops come from, right?
Well, it's also
technically, or
it's also the richest city.
Okay.
Let's just
it's
keep
the
it
fucking capital of the country, pretty much.
Pretty much the capital of the country.
Yeah, because it was Boston, New England, but now it's pretty much New York. It's the money center. So,
it's always been the money center.
Yeah, of course.
It's always been Wall Street. It's always been Fifth Avenue. It's always been all the media companies, all the TV companies,
absolutely,
all the jewelry
radio,
companies. It
yeah.
all comes from there. All my checks come from New York.
Hey,
let me just say that
too. Let's get some New York checks.
All my checks come from New York.
Nah, but for sure.
You know, I remember after 9/11. The police chief said that they got something that could shoot a plane out the sky. That's what they got in New York. Hardest place.
Okay, well, yeah. After 9/11, yeah.
Yeah, but this is how they're running in New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got cameras everywhere.
Like Vegas.
Everything is worse than Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Shit. No one flew a building into Vegas.
Yeah. Well, they massacred some people recently.
They did.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But yeah, I get it.
So he might get time served. Who do you think is gonna be the first rapper to do
I hope no
feature?
rapper do anything with that guy, bro. Like, I hope. I don't even want to mention Lil Nas X, and because he don't have the same point of view as everybody, but I hope nobody. I hope he need to go to a foreign country, like somewhere off the grid, and just work a regular job like he started out busting tables. You know what I'm saying? And just stay out the way, because you done.
Well,
according to, in my mind anyway. So.
In your mind, but I think what's really going to happen is he's going to get out and start dropping music. And he's going to do shows. And a bunch of white kids are going to be in there defending him. People are already defending him.
Of course, I saw that.
Oh, what would you do if these guys try to have you killed?
And they have a point. You understand that? they have a point, but you signed up to a code, and that's the whole difference. And the code is what it is. Your feelings, it's not about how you feel. You understand what I'm saying? Because if that was the case, then shit, everybody could have been doing anything a long time ago. So that's the difference. And he didn't understand that, obviously.
I think he understood it.
You think he did?
I don't think the 9 Trey dudes understood it.
So, okay.
I think he always had an escape route. Okay, look, I'm going to do this.
Right.
If I get caught, I'm going to tell on everybody.
Knowing him, yeah, for sure. He probably did. Knowing Tekashi,
I'll
he
say,
probably
hey,
always thought it.
I'm new here.
You absolutely have a point, too.
Yeah. And I remember, I think China Mac, one of my regular guests, he called it, where he basically said, like, even though Tekashi is the high-profile guy, he's not the real criminal in that crew.
We saw that.
Here's my breakdown of Tekashi. I don't feel Tekashi's a gangster. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Tekashi is just he's just a regular kid. You know what I'm saying? And he bought into this whole persona. He bought into this lifestyle for clout. So he basically just turned his whole life for clout. So he could pursue this career. He put tattoos on his face. He did all of this so he can create this character, right? And also with the gang that's even more interesting for the eye, for the story, for everything. You have all of these gangsters around. You have all of this. So he did all of that knowingly in his mind. I'm gonna do all of this so it could even look crazier, so I could get so much hype and so much clout and so much this and cause so much commotion. And I think he was genius for that. You know what I'm saying? Because marketing-wise, he was genius for that. But I think he was fucking stupid as fuck that he didn't think that there was going to be repercussions for this. You know what I mean? Because you're playing with fire. You're fucking telling gangsters. You're telling people, you're playing with a lifestyle that people died for. You're playing with a lifestyle that people fucking murdered for, that people lost their fathers for, that people, did all of it. Like, you know what I mean? This is like the gang culture is like deep. You know what I'm saying? So now here come this guy that obviously is not part of this shit, and he just comes in this shit, and then he's just fucking, just like telling people to suck his dick and like just doing all of this extra shit for clout, right? But you're doing this to people that are real, that are really about this shit. You know what I'm saying? So you're really, even if he's not telling the certain people, he's just causing a lot of commotion amongst real gangsters.
You're the face of the thing.
You're
that's like the president getting impeached. They don't impeach his whole cabinet. They only get him. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, Trump's whole cabinet's been getting
okay. Well, now that's
locked up. So I don't know
about
that.
You're the poster child of you're the face of the movement. So yeah,
you're the face. But the crimes that he did were not as extreme as the crimes that the other people were charged with.
Well, see, everybody didn't know that until he brought that to light, though.
Exactly.
That's the whole point.
And but here's the thing. Also, there's also a lot of video footage of them actually doing the crimes. Pretty much all the crimes they're involved with. Like, we actually got access to like the assets from this case. So we have the videos.
So where'd the video come from? Like, they was in places where they didn't know where cameras were.
They're in buildings in New York.
Oh yeah, so that was just foolish on that part.
Every lobby in Manhattan has at least one video camera, including my lobby,
right,
including my floor in New York. Like, there's video cameras everywhere.
As you should.
This is not the sticks in Alabama somewhere where
even in the sticks I have cameras. Shit, bro, listen.
Yeah, so between between the cameras in whatever public locations, whether it was Barclays Center or this one building or whatever else, to him blabbing about it on his own cell phone, we have footage of that, to someone across the street seeing the rainbow hair and filming it. And uploading it to social media and the police snatching that. It's not that hard to piece together the story with actual hard evidence. It's not really that hard. And then when you got someone that's actually connecting the dots verbally, then it just becomes a slam dunk.
Absolutely. And that's all they want, because they don't need nothing more than somebody talking against you guys and their story is consistent. That's all the fuck they need. And it can be a consistent lie too.
Well, yeah.
It can be, absolutely. Well, especially if you was involved and then they pick one of you out to turn. Come on, bro. Like, I don't know. That's the part about the legal system I hate, because How are you gonna allow somebody else to save themselves and so everybody else could fall? That's kind of crafty. Like,
well, especially when
that's unjust. Like,
especially when you're putting out the hits and putting up money to get like Chief Keef shot, and then you tell on the guy who did it.
Exactly.
But you're as guilty, if not more guilty, than the person who did the actual shooting.
It's called conspiracy. Conspiracy is just like like
murder,
doing a crime.
Murder for hire, right?
Exactly. So I don't know, but that's they pick and choose who they want. That's how the legal system get down.
Well, the first week that we just got through, I mean, by the time this comes out, there's going to be more, but we got through the first week of him taking the stand, but speaking only with the prosecution, right? So that's a relatively easy dialogue for a witness because, the feds and Tekashi sat down already and probably went over all the questions that they're going to ask. And he tells them their answers, and they tell him how to adjust the answers and so forth. Yeah. So it's very easy. But now what's going to happen is that the defense is going to cross-examine Tekashi, where he won't know what they're going to ask.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
But they're going to tell him a roundabout how they're going to approach it because this ain't the first time something like this happened. The feds are really sharp, so they'll coach him to that part too.
Yeah. And certain things, I think, like him, like the domestic violence is not admissible in court and stuff like that. Like certain things.
I don't think none of that matter, bro. Like when you get to talking about somebody with guns doing violence like that, that outweighs all that other stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Because that rings louder when it hits people's ears,
Well, we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
I've actually got a lot of offers from the people around him to do interviews, but I've always turned them down because it's still an open case. Okay. And I didn't want them to potentially say something in my interview that was going to get used for the
you shouldn't want to do that too. Like, let it be over, man.
Yeah.
Because,
once it's over, I'll talk to everybody.
You don't want no more heat on you. Vlad, you've been cool for some years, man. You know what I'm saying? So you need to stay cool like you've been cool. You gotta be
man, I ask questions and y'all can answer it how you want to answer it. And, just like, for example, when Boosie was on his murder trial, they spent a whole day playing his music.
Yeah.
And anything that has anything in relation to murders or gangs or shootings was played for the jury.
I can see
all day. Were you in contact with TK at all?
Nah.
Okay. What's interesting about that case is that they actually took his song, The Race, and played it for the jury.
Yeah. They played. They do that. They played a whole day of my music.
Okay, so they did this to you too. They were playing Boosie songs.
They played a whole day, 8 hours of Boosie music. The whole day.
Really?
Explaining lyrics a whole day. It was a whole day, a whole Tuesday. They played a whole day of my music. He took every lyric I had with my co-defendant name and played it. Every lyric I talk about killing in, they played it. Every murder lyric, really, they played it. And it was so crazy because they was trying to explain the lyrics, and some of their lyrics was wrong. They didn't even know what I was saying, but they was trying to say stuff, you know what I'm saying? But, they gonna use it against you in court, Anything you do on social media, they gonna use it against you in court. That's their tool.
Before you go and start calling me or Adam 22 or academics, the feds or whatever else, realize that all that
what
music,
you're doing,
all the music that all the gangster rappers are recording, all of that could be used as evidence. And will be used as evidence. We've
always known that. I've always known it.
Yeah, I think some people know that's just music.
Yeah,
that's
but
just
see,
art.
They don't hold it to the same standards as they do movies.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So come on, man, just be intelligent about what you do. That's the whole point.
YNW Melly is in prison right now for a murder, and his biggest song is "Murder on My Mind."
Right.
So it's just one of those things where,
free him too, but damn, bro.
TK got 55 years for a song called "The Race," which he wrote when he actually cut off his ankle bracelet.
Wanted to do that, yeah.
He cut off his ankle bracelet, and did the race, went on the run, and wrote a song about it. And that song
was... What's his name, TK?
TK.
Free TK, man.
That song was played. That song was played to the jury, and he ultimately got 55 years. And I think he's got another murder trial coming up. 50. On top of that. So, yeah, man. My suggestion is if you're going to be a gangster rapper, make sure you're completely out of the street. When you,
man.
You actually are a gangster rapper.
You know what people have today that they don't even think? They have the space to perpetrate, like CB4. Like now, the way the world is set up, like you can be whatever the fuck you want. So just become a character and take the uniform off when the cameras go off. Don't live that shit for real. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Especially if you're not made for it. Because media, for the most part, it's not like the 90s with hip hop. Like, all our shit, for the most part, if you saw something, it was real. For the most part. Even if the main guy that was rapping was a buster, his homies was real. You see what I'm saying? And you didn't see the type of shit that you see today. You didn't see the kind of foofer ass shit. Like, I don't know. So.
Well, the first time that I talked about Keefe D, I think was in our interview. When, we talked about Orlando Anderson and we brought up the Keefe D confession tapes.
Right.
And it kind of started to snowball after that, culminating in my interview with Keefe D.
Okay.
You saw it?
Yeah.
Were you surprised that he did an interview with me?
I was super surprised.
Really?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because of how he's viewed by everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was him, and I hate to say that, but I'm being hypothetical, but if I was him, I would have like ducked somewhere. Like what Tekashi should do, he should have did. Because now you like a pariah in the public eye, regardless of how your hood feel, how your family feel. The public don't like you. You understand what I'm saying? And how are you supposed to move on past, something like as big as Tupac's murder?
Well, how well do you know Keefe D?
I've known him pretty well, bro. Like, I've known Keefe D. I didn't know him as well as some of the people from my hood, but me and his nephew, we met in juvenile hall. So me and him ran the streets and did our own thing outside of anybody on both of our sides. You understand what I'm saying?
Talking about Orlando.
Yeah. So every time I seen Keefe, it was always around him.
Okay.
Whenever I would pull up over his granny house or their spot, it was always around him. It was never like I would call Keefe on the phone or, you know what I mean, go to his spot by myself, nothing like that, yeah.
Well, Keefe wrote a book.
Yeah.
Which was the basis of our
interview.
What is
it called? Damn, never mind. Never mind, I'm sorry about that.
It's called Compton Street Legend, Notorious. Hold on a second.
He got that title. He got that
It's
title.
called Compton Street Legend, Notorious Keefe D Street Level Accounts of Tupac and Biggie Murders, Death Row Origins, Suge Knight, Puffy Combs, and Crooked Cops.
See? He got the title, though. He a legend. He is.
Well, he talked about this in our interview. And I talked to a few people around, who know about the situation and so forth. And everyone pretty much co-signed that he was a major drug dealer in Compton. He was not a small-time guy. He was moving a lot of weight.
I was going around buying 3 birds from this person, 5 birds from this person, and I happened to have one of my OG partners in the car with me. He like, man, you got to go to all them different places just to get fucking 15 keys? He like, man, I got a plug for you. I'm like, okay, cool. Then so he set up a dinner date with the dude. We get there, we pull up in my rag vet. We get there, my boy, we met him on right there in Lakewood at that Denny's on the 91 in Lakewood Boulevard right there. So we sitting there eating and stuff. Dude pull up in a Plymouth Acclaim, tripped me the fuck out. He had on glasses and everything, looked like a square, young too, So we ate and stuff. He like, ooh. So he said, he ain't got nothing right now. He gonna get back with me later. So me and my boy pulled off. I'm like, damn, he don't even look like he got nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, that mother bad motherfucker.
Did you know him during this time when he was on top?
Of course, man. Like he was, you would have to been in the house to not know who he was, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I know who he was.
Okay. What was his overall reputation apart from the dope dealing?
That's it. That's all he. That was his only reputation that I knew.
He was a dope dealer.
He's a D-boy. Yeah. That's
Okay.
the only reputation that I knew. Mm-hmm.
And him and Orlando were very close.
That's his uncle.
Right. Well, not everyone's close to their uncles, but
yeah, but he was close to him. Yeah.
He was super
Absolutely.
close.
All his uncles though. All the Keefe D brothers too. Yeah. They were all
really?
close. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the whole situation in Vegas happens, and everyone comes back to Compton.
Right.
Did you see Keefe D after that?
Nah, I wouldn't even go over there.
Oh, because it was hot.
Of course. I don't want to go over there. It's federal. You know what I mean? Like, I know they taking pictures. I don't want to pull up nowhere. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah. Well, the mass shooting broke out after Tupac's murder, and mass arrests broke out. Everyone's house was getting raided.
I know.
They're pulling guns out of homes. People are getting arrested.
Right.
People are getting shot and killed.
That's normal though, bro. Like,
no, but it was elevated during that time.
I understand, but I'm telling you, like, see, Compton, now we have sheriff. So we had the CPD before. It was a lot of unsolved murders. Like, since gangbanging been going on, there's so many, like, things that happened. And I guess after they amass enough information, they'll come and sweep your whole neighborhood like that. You understand what I'm saying? And that same exact thing that you're talking about, they do that same exact thing. And even the people that don't live there, they'll find them, you know what I mean? Like, they'll find them outside, have that police force to hit them all at the same exact time. I've been through that countless of times, like, in Compton, like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he talked about Eazy. Him and Eazy knew each other. And you didn't know Eazy during this time, but he said that when Eazy was coming up, he wasn't really a major dealer. How big of a drug dealer was Eazy?
He was just selling like 8 balls and 4.5 and stuff like that.
So he never got to kilos or anything?
No, he never got to kilos.
Okay.
He had hit the music industry, hit it rich.
Okay. He said Eazy wasn't?
Eazy was not.
Eazy is younger than him though.
Yeah.
So it's like Eazy probably came off the porch as what we call is like when you step into the game, probably 13, 14 years old. You see what I'm saying? Keefe D was probably well on his way into his 20s or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, yeah.
He wasn't really familiar, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Eazy was a Kelly Park Crip. But he didn't really talk about it in his music.
Nah.
Did he even mention Kelly Park in any of his songs?
Not that I can remember, no.
Did he mention Crips in any of his songs?
He said Crip on a few songs, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Which songs?
I think on 8 Ball Junkie and I think it's a featured song he did. A featured song. I don't know if it's on that shit with the DOC. But he said it a couple times. Like, it's not the most popular songs that everybody know. You know what I mean? Because even Ice Cube said it.
It's not on 8 Ball.
It's not on 8 Ball?
I just checked it.
Damn. Maybe that 8 Ball in the Posse album is what I'm thinking about.
Okay.
The Fat Girl
NWA
on my
in the
jock
Posse,
and all
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Okay, well, my point
But
is...
I know he said something about Crip 2 times and Ice Cube said it 1 time.
Okay. My point is that he wasn't like Crip
Of course, yeah, because, come on, man.
So, did everyone in Compton know that he was a Crip, though?
Everybody in Compton was damn near Crips. Like,
oh, so Compton
we're the majority in Compton. So
okay,
whatever neighborhood you're in is pretty much what you are, and that's how everything is viewed.
Okay, so Compton was mostly Crips at that time.
Yeah, it's right now still.
Really?
Yes.
So we talk about Treetop and Mob and all the blood sets.
Don't matter.
Still,
it's way more Crips. All throughout, like, Los Angeles, period, yeah.
Well, Keefe D said that Eazy-E had all the Compton Crips behind him.
Of course.
Suge wouldn't touch him.
Of course.
He had the Atlantic Drives, the Kelly Parks, End Hoods, Southside, Spook Town, just name it.
Okay.
Arcadia, the whole Alondra was behind him, so we ain't put a let no red rags do Eazy-E like that. You know what I'm saying? So that was, I think that was a fucked up shit.
Yeah, I heard Eazy never got beat up.
No, hell no.
I've talked to, I mean, even Mob
He would have came got us. He would have came got us.
Yeah, I mean, I just talked to Mob James yesterday, and he even told about the meeting where they went down to try to get the contracts for Eazy-E, you know, for Dr. Dre, and Jerry Heller was there, but Eazy wasn't even in the office.
That's the whole point. That's what I was trying to say in a roundabout way when you asked me about, did that really happen? And I was like, no.
Eazy getting beat up.
Yeah,
by Suge
you know,
and his people.
You don't want that problem.
Well, I
wouldn't want that problem. Shit.
I interviewed Mob James, and he was there when they went to.
And he said they didn't touch him, right?
Suge has a problem with Eazy-E because he has Michelle A. and Dr. Dre that want to sign with him, but here's Eazy over here, who holds all their contracts in place.
Exactly.
So now you guys go to try to get these contracts. Now, this was played out in the NWA movie, but from what I understand, the way it was played out is not what actually happened.
Not at all.
From your point of view.
My point of view, I was there.
Okay.
We went into the office. His security was there. Jerry Heller was in.
So let's just rewind for a second. So it's you, Suge, and how many more people?
It's me, Suge, and 3 others. I don't want to say their names because I don't know if they want to be mentioned out there like that. So me, Suge, and 3 others. 3 of the little homeboys. And we went in there. Suge said, I need to get at Jerry and them to get Michelle A. and them contracts.
Okay, so this is Ruthless Records office.
This is Ruthless, yeah, they office.
Okay, and Jerry Heller was there?
Jerry Heller was there.
Okay, who's an old Jewish man.
Yeah. I mean, the movie was just straight booty because it didn't happen like that. We went in there, the security guard was standing right there like, as if to hold us up on going in there. Man, you better get the fuck out the way. Dude bagged up.
Oh, so you guys pulled out guns on security?
I had a little bitty ass 25. I'm incriminating myself on this goddamn thing, but I had a little pistol.
Okay.
And Jerry can't testify now. Didn't he pass away?
He passed away.
Okay, so he can't testify. So this cat, he know who he is, got out the way when he seen this little 25. He moved. Suge went there. I closed the door.
Okay.
For Suge to deal with Jerry. Handle your business.
So you're not even in the room?
No.
So, but Jerry's in the room with this big Suge Knight guy.
Just them 2. Suge got a check out of him, and he got Dre's shit. He got their contracts out of Jerry's cabinet or whatever the case would be. Eazy, he couldn't get.
Okay, because I had heard stories that, you know, Jerry Heller was put in a trunk or something else. None of that happened.
No, hell no. We walked out of there, and he was sitting at his desk where Suge left him, walked out of there. I don't think Suge had to put his hands on him or nothing. He was that scared.
His other homie robbed him or something, but he didn't say how he did it. He didn't say he stronged on him. Because you can, like, I can do a deal with you and give you something fake, and you don't know until you get to where you're going. You know what I mean? So that's kind of, it's not the same shit, you know? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because this part's fuzzy. Because in the movie, it was portrayed where Eazy got beat up.
Right.
And you're saying that never happened.
Nah. Nobody didn't die afterwards, so that's how you know. Yeah. Real talk, though. Not to be funny, but for real.
Well, after Orlando gets jumped at the MGM, me and Keefe talked about the aftermath of that whole situation. And what he said was the first thing that Orlando wanted to do was get a one-on-one fight with Tupac. You initially wanted to go talk to Suge about the whole situation.
Yeah. We was, I felt we was on that type of level where we can just get this shit squashed, get a head up, and stuff like that with Lane and Tupac.
You wanted to meet up with Suge, but you had no way of getting in contact with him.
Yeah, one of my homies from out there we had some homies lived out there.
Okay.
That was kind of in the game. And they like, they put to have a concert at the 662 Club. So we went up there.
Which was Suge's club.
Yeah, we went up there.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
So you guys went over there, but there was a bunch of cops and everything in
Nah,
front. Oh, there wasn't.
Nah, it wasn't no cops. We was there for about 30, 40 minutes in the back parking lot.
That's my nigga. That's what he
And
that shows you the respect level that he had for him. Why everybody keeps saying that he just didn't like him. Because Tupac was larger than life. And most people in the hood from any gang, whether it's the Oakland form of what a gang is or the Chicago form, we gravitated towards Tupac. We was his fans, bro. So that was you know. But nobody never point that part out. But yeah.
And Keefe, since he knew Suge since they were kids, and he's had a few run-ins with Suge that were always respectful.
Yeah.
He felt that he could approach Suge and basically set up that one-on-one fight.
And what happened?
He was never able to see Suge. They went to Club 662. They waited out in the parking lot. They hadn't come yet. You know,
that was the wrong time to do it.
Yeah, like right afterwards.
Yeah, because people thinking you coming to do something, because that's the gang mentality. You know, usually you do something happen, somebody get hurt, and then y'all show up. It's like y'all got guns out there. You know what I mean? So that was the wrong time to try to get a head-up fight for sure.
What was interesting is that I spoke to someone real close, like really, like someone who's there. Let's just say it like that. Someone who was there during that whole situation.
Right.
And I said, what would have happened if Keefe and Suge actually spoke and he said, yo, let's do a one-on-one fight? He said Tupac would have done it.
That's good.
He said Tupac loved fighting.
Okay.
He fought the guy who I was talking to. And that was his friend. Like he fought, he fought, and then they would get along afterwards.
That's commendable.
Like,
man.
And Suge,
he come from that though. You know that's that Panther upbringing. Like that's what people try to instill us back in the day. Like,
he's down to fight, and Suge would have been down to see it.
Yeah.
Because he loved violence.
Of course.
So had they actually had that conversation, there could have been a one-on-one fight. Someone would have won, someone would have lost, and they probably would have worked it out afterwards.
In hindsight, it's like heaven, you know?
But that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And they saw him in traffic, and we talked about it in the interview. The whole shooting happened. You know, everyone in that car is dead right now, except for Keefe. There were 4 people. You know, Orlando died in a shootout in Compton at the, you know, at the, was it a car wash?
Yeah, the car wash.
Car wash.
/ gas station.
One of the guys died from natural causes. I guess he was really bad health. Another guy got killed in a weed shop. And Keefe's the only living member. So when he is saying all the people that are involved, you know, like in the VladTV interview, there's no one to really take a blame. You know, there's no repercussions in terms of...
Like, he got to live with it. That's the repercussion, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else is dealing with something on another level because they dead, and they're in a different space. They're in a space that we don't even understand. But for him to have to live with that, like, shit. You know what I mean? Like, you got to wake up, go to sleep, wake up, go to sleep, try to be normal. That's like hell. That's like living in hell, if you ask me.
Well, I mean, he said anyone that wants to test him, they can step up and try.
Okay, but for what? You old. Like, chill out. Like, man, come on, man. You a grandpa, man. Sit down. That's the wrong approach. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, man. All that shit's sad. That's a horror story, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, when I interviewed Boosie, he said that Keefe felt like he could say what he said because he didn't think that anyone was going to ride for Tupac.
I feel like he feel like I try to think by me being in the streets so long. I just feel like he feel like for him to come out like that, he feel like Tupac ain't got nobody behind him gonna slide like that, you know.
Nah, come on, bro. A Tupac fan would kill you dead, bro.
Would they?
Of course they will.
Would they?
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Hell yeah, they would.
Name me a time a fan of anybody has killed somebody.
I can't even if I
See
knew
what
it,
I'm
I
saying?
couldn't tell you.
Let's
that.
just take Tupac
but what
out
I'm
the
saying
equation.
Is, people, man, trust and believe me, bro.
Tell me one time, because it sounds good when you say it. Yeah, oh yeah,
Trust
man, I
me.
killed a motherfucker who did this. Yeah.
Do you think Suge was a fan of Pac before he signed him? Do you think all that whole hood that was riding with him? Of course. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So it's people that already have a kill mentality that might be head over heels for him. You know what I'm saying? Like fan wise.
Right.
Like,
Well, to be fair, people got killed after Tupac's shooting. So people really did die.
Shit. Yeah, but it was more gang. That's what I'm telling you.
But I'm saying a fan, a typical fan.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a fan.
Why do fans stalk people and kill them and shit?
I've heard of stalkers. I've heard of dumb shit. I've heard of people fans calling the police on you and getting you busted, like the Meek Mill situation.
I don't know, man. I just think because the way they praise him, you know what I'm saying? His fans are extreme, bro. Like, they super extreme. Like, he got extremist fans, like, for real.
Michael Jackson has extreme fans. They've been attacking me for the last couple of weeks. But I'm saying,
well,
I'm not worried about one of them killing me.
Yeah, of course, but it ain't the same type of situation. Mike didn't die in the same vein that Tupac died in. You know, that's a difference, you know, and street people view things a different way. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't saying like no little white Tupac kid fan or something, but somebody with a street mentality. You don't know. You don't know. The way I see them react over all of this, it seemed that way, that somebody could actually. You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, Keefe texted me the other day. He seems fine.
That's fine. I don't want nothing to happen to that guy.
I don't get any impression that anyone's gone after him.
I don't wish ill on nobody.
Millions of people have seen this interview.
I don't want nothing to happen to him. You know what I'm saying? And he shouldn't even like bring that shit up. I don't even really want to talk about the guy, to be honest. Like, yeah, because you know.
Well, I just want to say this before we get off topic. Keefe said that he's actually run into Suge a couple times. And they said it was fine. Shook hands, everything.
I had seen him a couple of times since the Vegas incident.
Oh, really?
I seen him at the basketball game. It was New Jersey Nets against the Lakers. Jason Kidd and them. I seen him when I first got out of the feds. Seen him then. Then I seen him at the Lil Wayne video shoot with Game and Lil Wayne at that graveyard. Yeah, I seen him a couple of times. We talked, you know. He was cool, you know. Yeah.
There was no animosity, nothing?
No. He had just got knocked out on that one at that graveyard when I seen him in the gold Cadillac truck. Wasn't no animosity, no.
They were friends, bro. Like, you know, and Suge is not one of them type of people. Who you know that Suge, besides when he had 200 people behind him and just walked up and tried to hurt somebody by himself. He wasn't that type of person. Suge, he acted out with people behind him. You know what I mean? Suge didn't have that kind of heart. We know that. You know what I mean? He wasn't built like that, bro. Now, Keefe, I don't know him in that way, so I don't know. It sounds good, though.
Right. Well, Suge did pay off Keefe and Orlando. I mean, primarily Orlando for testifying on his behalf. Of course. Yeah. And he said that's kind of what calmed the whole situation down. When Southside got paid by Death Row, then he said the violence kind of subsided. Do you see that at all or no?
I mean, like, that shit is like a glimpse in time for me to try to pick everything apart and know everything that happened. So I don't know. Cause you know I'm from a different hood, so all that shit was happening way down there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, here's a bit of irony. Suge Knight is going into prison for 28 years, and Harry O is getting out after doing 31 years. Yeah, that's
interesting, huh?
Yeah, it's almost like a handoff.
Man,
like I'll tap you in.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. That whole scenario is so interesting, bro.
Yeah.
But, you know, God don't like ugly, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the whole point. You know what I mean? You can't just do anything to anybody and think you can get away with it. And it might not even catch up to you in this life, but you never getting away.
I had Melvin Farmer on my show. He was one of the founders of the Trey Crips.
Okay, I seen a piece of it. Yeah,
older guy in his 60s, I believe. Yeah. He said something interesting. He said, what's the one thing in common between the Tupac and Nipsey murders?
Let me put it like this so we can get around to it. And this go for every time, particularly in gangbanging. And then it's very simple. See, it don't take no NATO meeting, no mixing chemicals to figure out the bottom line of shit. The bottom line is this. The only thing stronger than a man's pride is a mother's love. Every common murder have a common denominator you just named. From Nipsey Hussle on down, and every one of them be behind another man's pride. Mm. Am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't even have to revisit it. I've seen this 48 years. And the one common denominator with all of them that got killed, gangbanging, it's their pride.
I never thought about it.
Pride.
That's always a factor when somebody dies.
Violently.
Yeah. Pride is extreme. I said, pride could be very extreme, bro. Narcissism and all that type of shit. Like, it's along those same lines. Like
how dare
the gang mentality is nothing but pride.
Right. It's how dare he say or do this to me? Doesn't he know who I am and what I've done and represent? He's tripping. All right, I'm gonna show him that he messed with the wrong person. That's basically what happened both times. That
sound typical. That's a typical thing, you know, that we've seen over and over and over, play out over and over and over. So it's just, you know, that mentality. It's just, that mentality has factors that only the people that's close to it can identify with. And I've been around it so long that I know it like the back of my hand. And pride is the main factor for somebody taking a gun and killing somebody.
So let's say that I run into you during your active days, right? We're walking down the street and I step on your shoe. I don't say, excuse me.
See?
Well, what would happen? We don't know each other.
Back in my day?
Back in your day.
But it probably wouldn't have been good for you.
The shoe's not even scuffed, really. You know, you look down.
Yeah, I'd have probably looked. It just depended on how the mood I was in. Now, if, say that happened, right? But say I lost somebody prior to you doing that. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm running on 10, and you do that. Bow. You see?
That's how Orlando died. Orlando's grandmother had just passed, and he was fucked up over it.
Of course.
He was drinking heavily.
It's the matriarch of his family, yeah.
Yeah, the OG of his family dies, who I think raised him, right?
Pretty much.
So he's fucked up. He's angry. And it just so happens he runs into someone that owes him some money.
Perfect timing. Really bad,
and
but
it escalates just that easily.
That's anything can happen.
If he had just won a lottery ticket, you know, earlier that day, and his grandmother had pulled through and he was happy,
yeah,
do you think that
somewhere else probably?
You say none of that would have happened?
Probably not.
So it depends on,
Yeah, probably not, bro, because his mind state was different. He's in that mind state. When you lose somebody, even the gang mentality, like somebody in my family can pass from just an ordinary thing, right? And I might still want to hurt somebody just because I lost somebody, because that's how we're used to dealing with pain. You understand what I'm saying? And it's a sad thing, but yeah.
I interviewed China Mac. And the day he shot somebody was like the day after he got shot by someone, and he had run into him and he tried to get him, and the dude managed to run off, and he was just in a mood. And he runs into this other dude who's an associate that kind of didn't really have nothing to do with it, but he's in a mood.
Simple.
He's feeling like his gangster's being tested, and he's got something to prove that day. And it just so happens the wrong person was in the wrong place. And that guy ended up getting in a wheelchair for a while. The guy that you shot.
Yeah.
Have you ever talked to him?
I've never talked to him.
Okay.
I've never talked to him.
Would you?
I don't know.
It's a tough
But right
one.
now is no.
Right now is no.
Right now is no. But it doesn't mean that won't change. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I'm not ready for that.
Okay.
Because it's a different circumstance.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Me and him is a different circumstance. Like, he told on me. And
okay, so he actually, once again, you pleaded out, so technically.
But he took the stand, though.
How do you take the stand when there's no trial?
He asked to give me more time.
Oh.
So once I took the plea, he went up there and asked for me to get more. But that's not the reason why I won. You know what I'm saying? The reason why,
did you get more time because of what he said?
No.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think so. The judge actually gave me a really good play. You know what I mean?
And just to ask, how badly was he hurt in that shooting?
He was paralyzed for a little bit. I don't think he's not no more, but he was in a wheelchair for like maybe 2-3 years, something like that, and he kind of exercised.
Pretty serious.
Yeah, it's
pretty serious to be in a wheelchair for 2 or 3 years, wondering every day wwhether you're going to be in that wheelchair for the rest of your life.
Right.
You know.
But you know, it's unfortunate, man. Like, I hate to see. My thing is, like, with this stuff here, it's deeply psychological, Vlad. Like, it's deep seated. You know, psychological complexes that come with this shit. Like, because it's been happening for so long, and that's why it's hard for us to find the way to get past it right now, because it, you know, like me, I'm so far removed from it, but it still tugs at me. Like, if I hear somebody from my neighborhood get hurt, it crossed my mind, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Like, retaliation and all that shit. Like, but I'm fighting it, because you gotta fight. You gotta fight evil. You gotta fight it within yourself, because you're responsible for what you do. It's not necessarily what everybody else do, you know?
Yeah. I mean, someone stepping on your shoe isn't worth someone dying. It's also not worth you going to prison.
But to a prideful person.
A prideful person. You know, and I remember when I interviewed Lil D when he got out of prison.
From the Bay?
Yeah, from the Bay.
Shout out
Lil D. He did like 30 years, right? So I said, what was the biggest difference you noticed when you stepped out of, you know, because you were in prison for more than half your life.
Yeah.
You know, he was like 20 when he went in, got out at 50. And, you know, the answer he gave me was interesting. He said, the biggest difference I noticed is, you know, everyone's walking around and they're, you know, staring at their cell phones. Yeah. And they would bump into you and just keep walking.
Man, when I got to that airport and seen all these people moving around on these cell phones, if you'd have seen the expression on my face, I was in another world, man. Like, I was, the look that was on me was like a person that you just let out of a cave. I mean, that's how long I had been gone. Like, when I seen all these people on their phones with their head down texting and bumping into each other, man, it freaked me out, man. Because it was these people was moving so fast, right? And then in prison, you got to be kind, man. You got to say, excuse me if you bump into somebody, man. You know, you got to say, excuse me. You gotta, you know, because it's a respect thing. So when I seen you people bumping into each other with their head down and whatnot, it freaked me out. I'm like, man, this is crazy.
Being in the prison system, you learn very quickly that you have to be ultra polite.
Absolutely.
You cannot bump into someone and not say, excuse me.
That'll get you killed.
But he said people bump in and just keep walking and neither person cares.
Yeah, and he don't know, like, you know, he's fresh out of dealing with something different.
Yeah, and he's like, he doesn't get it.
Of course he doesn't.
You know,
because look what he's been dealing with for so long. You know what I mean? So naturally, that's what you've seen in American Meat. When the leader got out and he was in the supermarket with the girl, and the dude was looking at him and he was like, you know, like, what? Because you don't stare at me for too long. Like, I'm gonna ask you something about that, you know? So yeah, he wasn't used to it.
I mean, in retrospect, do you see how dangerous a mentality that is?
It's very dangerous. It's explosive, like. Yeah.
Well, Keefe D said that, you know, he always feels, you know, he's 52 years old and he felt he's always going to be a Southside Crip, but he wishes cripping never started. I mean, do you still consider yourself a Southside Crip?
That's going to always be in my heart. Yeah, that's going to always be in my heart. That's where I'm from. We like a family, you know what I'm saying? It's going to always be there.
You have children and grandchildren?
Yes.
Do they bang?
No.
At all?
No. My grandkids, they playing football. They're gonna be some. They pretty good athletes too.
Yeah.
Big boys.
But you made sure that your kids didn't follow your footsteps.
That's right. Should nobody want that for none of their kids.
Yeah.
I wish that shit had never started. You know what I'm saying? Between that and the drugs, it tore our community down.
It's too late to say what you wish. Like, I mean, shit. I understand. I understand where you're coming from. I can relate to that sentiment, but it's too late, man. Like, we're only supposed to be looking backward in order to know what we're going forward. You know what I'm saying? So picking at the shit that happened, it's already done.
Yeah. Crip is worldwide now.
And this was my whole thing. Like, it needs to be revamped. Like, if people gonna still live and die by that shit, revamp it.
Well,
change it. Like, cause it's been broken too much.
Melvin Farmer, from the Trey, said something interesting. Number one, he said that Crips and Bloods stopped the civil rights movement. But you said something interesting. You said they've always had gangs. The only difference with the Crips and Bloods is they're anti-black. Everything else was pro-black. That's why I stopped. That's why the movement stopped.
Yeah, the civil rights movement stopped because of Crips and Bloods. When we started going to prison, we had to fight the Mexican mafia, the black guerrilla family. We coming in there following George Jackson, Geronimo Pratt. These were, they just had the San Marin shootout where they went and tried escaping from San Quentin, from Soledad to Soledad Brothers and all that. And here it is, a group of young blacks coming in for getting into it with blacks. They didn't like that.
How? What was his reasoning for that? That's crazy.
Well, because he felt that they were the one set of group, the set of groups overall that were anti-black.
That don't make sense.
Being black themselves.
Yeah, anti-black in a sense, but that's not the mentality of the group though. That we're anti-black. Like, we don't think that way. And the riots show you that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, every time something extreme happened, we can put all that hate, deep-seated ill will towards each other to the side, and we can actually stand next to each other. So I don't know his reasoning for that. Like, he's older than me, so maybe he sees something that don't make sense. That don't really make sense to me, honestly. It don't.
Well,
I don't know how he made that connection. I really don't.
You want to hear it?
I don't.
No, you don't want to hear him say it? Okay.
No.
Because you can say it better than I can, is what I'm saying.
I understand, but I don't get it, bro. Like, I'm old enough to know, so it's whatever.
Where were you during the Rodney King riots?
I was right in the thick of it.
You were in the thick of it. Okay.
Absolutely.
So Melvin pointed out that the Trey gangsters were the ones that kind of started setting off the riot.
Absolutely. It started on Florence, yeah.
Yeah.
1992, the Gangster Crips had the riot after Rodney King. We have a history of standing up against police misconduct. And I particularly do because I'm not scared of dying.
We saw them on TV. Everybody else in South Central, we saw them on TV doing, and the people, I'm assuming, who was driving by was seeing it, but we saw it on the news. And it hyped us all up. And I was living in Watts, and I remember seeing all the Jordan Down, all the Grape Street Crips walking towards the Imperial Courts, which is the P.J. Watts Crips. And then we all followed them, and then we walked all the way up in Central to the Nickerson Gardens and tow up shit all the way down there. So I was right there.
How deep was it when you were out there?
Bro, you couldn't count it. It was hundreds and hundreds of people. It was impossible. All those little neighbors, everybody was coming out all of those little crevices and shit.
From the outside looking in, the question that a lot of people are asking is, why tear up your own neighborhoods?
It's frustration. We've never been taught how to deal with frustration, Vlad. Never. All our like from the gang, you got to understand the crack epidemic, and all of that shit. Like, people, they didn't. It's a lot of values they didn't pass down, and when they did try to pass them down, they did it out of anger and frustration towards us. So it didn't stick. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah.
I interviewed Lord Jamar, and he said that right around the LA riots, he actually felt that a black revolution was possible. Was there a moment during that time where you had a certain level of animosity towards white people? I mean, to write a lyric like that?
Probably. When I was, you know, when you're young and militant, you know what I mean? Like, I was a young militant black man. Like, if I was born in the Panthers' time, I probably would have been a Panther. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. My studies, I had been studying for years at that time. You understand what I'm saying? And I was rolling with some really militant brothers at this time. That's all I could say. You know what I mean? And yeah, we was about that revolution life. You know what I mean? We was about that.
Yeah, and then you went on to sign, well...
We already was signed.
But I'm talking about Dead Prez.
Oh, yes.
Dead Prez came later, which kind of took that whole message, you know, a step further.
Yeah, well, that was, they definitely was in that vein, you know what I mean? Which is why I even was attracted to them like that.
Yeah. I mean, did you think at that time that there was going to be an actual revolution?
Yes, I thought it was possible.
Absolutely. Anytime I rioted. Yeah.
Did you feel, and you were in the thick of it. He was from the outside looking in.
I was so young. It looked like, to me, like the end of the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
I didn't live long enough. You understand? I haven't seen anything like that. I didn't even think that was a possibility. Even though I heard about the Watts riots, but you know, the circumstances was different. They wasn't divided by gangs and shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was trippy to me.
What was the craziest shit that you saw during those riots?
I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that.
Okay,
like,
fair enough.
I really can't. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was extreme.
Mm-hmm.
People were getting pulled out of cars. People were getting beat up.
It was extreme.
Stores were being set on fire.
It was very extreme.
You know,
mm-hmm.
But it would have been interesting if instead of tearing up, you
yeah,
know,
it was dumb. It was dumb.
Tearing
like,
up,
retrospect,
you know,
we
people's
all
own
knew
neighborhoods. What if they went to Simi Valley?
In retrospect, we all knew that.
You know,
because
everyone had
now
cars.
that we want to go shopping shit after we didn't, all the goods we stole, we ate them all, right? Or did whatever. So now we need to go shopping, and we got to drive, you know what I'm saying, way out to Hollywood damn near to go grocery shopping.
Were the Crips and Bloods really, and all the different gangs united during that time?
Pretty much, most of them. There was a few
when
that
you see
didn't
people like tying rags, red and blue rags
right
together.
There. I'm telling you, we was drinking. They was drinking blue drink. We was drinking red drink.
Huh?
Yeah, all of that.
It was all love.
It was super love, man. Like, yeah.
How did you feel the next day when all the smoke had cleared and the adrenaline, you know, subsided?
We was kind of frustrated, man, because I think like as youth, because you know most rioters start by youth. You understand? So it was a youthful movement, and like I said, out of the frustration, we didn't know where to put our anger. You understand what I'm saying? Like all that pent up anger, and then the government of our state, of our city, whatever, wouldn't come and talk to us about how we felt, which is what they should have did. You know what I mean? Because you don't want people tearing up your city. So like, you know, come to the table and at least let people vent at the very least, you know?
Yeah, it was a crazy time. I remember I was in Berkeley during that time. There was a riot that happened in Berkeley, but nothing on the level, nothing on the level of LA. Yeah. But Berkeley, you know, cars got fucked up, stores got broken into. I was out there, you know, with some friends, just walking around. Police were on, you know, like I said, it wasn't to the extreme, but it was like I said,
crazy still, yeah.
Urban Outfitter had all its windows smashed, and everyone took jeans out of there, and everything else like that. Yeah, man. Well, you know, Rodney King, unfortunately, was not the greatest poster boy for this type of thing either. He was a drug addict.
He wasn't, man. But I think that's all it took. You know, it could have been anything. Yeah. Like at that point, you know what I'm saying? It didn't have to necessarily be him. Yeah. But I think, you know, that little thing just kind of tipped the scale for everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you're not Kodak Black's biggest fan.
I don't really got nothing against him, bro. Besides what he said, like I listened to his music, bro, and I just, I reacted out of frustration. I don't really have nothing against him. It was just a foolish thing to say at the time he said it.
Well, he's back in prison or back in jail on federal weapons charges.
Right.
I guess he went and bought a gun legally and said that he wasn't, I guess, on probation or
That's
whatever.
What I'm saying, man, like who's his people, bro?
Who raised you?
Yeah, like who's your manager? Like who is the people around you 24/7?
It seems like it's just his family's around, like his older brother and a bunch of his friends from the block.
Holla at me, Kodak, when you get out, man, because that's crazy. You don't need to be in jail.
I don't think there's any adults around, to be honest. Remember Master P wanted to fuck with him at one point. That didn't work out.
Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah.
Yeah.
He needs somebody, bro. Because Gucci kind of went through a lot before he straightened up, too.
He got married.
Okay.
Keisha KR seemed
like
she's on top of it.
See, he married the right woman, though. You know what I mean?
He married someone who is serious.
Yeah, of course.
The right woman will really change your life.
Absolutely.
That's the thing.
Absolutely.
When you see the most successful men, most of them are either married or in very serious relationships. The guys that are running wild, like a 50 Cent, is constantly getting into some crazy shit.
50 ain't crazy like that, bro. 50 is entertaining.
He is, but he's also reckless. I mean, he lost 2 major lawsuits from just being 50. He had to file for bankruptcy.
You need to calm down, Dan. 50, calm down, bro. Because you too rich for that shit.
Too rich for that. I agree. I agree. But Kodak is still in jail currently.
Yeah.
It's crazy because he's really one of the biggest artists out there.
Right. Absolutely.
He's not an underground artist anymore by any stretch of the imagination.
No way, yeah. He's super huge.
The amount of money that he's losing every day, he's
he
definitely
don't know.
lost.
See, he probably thinking that he's going to always have that money. He don't know how this life works. He don't got enough experience. You see what I'm saying? At life to understand that you can't keep doing that. Yeah, bro. He gotta chill out.
Well, I interviewed Slim 400 right after he got shot 9 times in Compton, actually.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Going back to his old block. And it's just a crazy story. He got out the car and they just unloaded on him. You're in your neighborhood in your car.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess you had some other people in the car with you also, right?
Yeah, I had 2 bros in the car, but my vehicle was hella tinted. So when I jump out to go see my family, like, I guess these dudes was already on the block waiting for anybody to pull up to do whatever they was gonna do, but I was the one they called. So as I'm walking, they already about to get the popping. So once I hear shots, shit, I'll get to trying to run, duck, get behind cars to get to my folks, like garage and house. And with me kind of halfway getting there, I kind of fall. And one of my relatives come out the house while they still shooting at a nigga. They pulling me and dragging me in, talking to me, trying to keep me alive. And it worked, you feel me? So ambulance came and took me from there, bro. But I still fully ain't myself. I'm out, you feel me? I ain't really know what's going on, but like I said, I got hit 9 times.
He got to stay out of Compton, man.
And he talked about how
pretty much the whole thing, man. Compton, they don't give a shit over here, bro. Like, and if you trying to elevate, why would you be around that? Because they ain't gonna do nothing but pull you back, and that's what happened.
Well, I mean, we talked about that, how he realized that he would just be hanging out. That was his favorite thing to do.
Right.
He'd go do a show and he'd go right back to the block.
Trust me, man.
Go do a feature, right back to the block.
Shout out to Whoopty. He hang with my partner Whoopty from Ludus. The dude who be driving him in the car, if you ever see him on Instagram, is one of my personal friends. You understand me? So,
okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just foolish to be around, bro, because you might not be living that, but everybody else is, and if you trying to get somewhere, that ain't the place to be, bro. Just trust me. He's supposed to know better. He should. I mean, he should have.
Yeah. Like, how often do you go back to Compton?
Every blue moon.
Really?
A real blue moon, yeah. Like
once a year?
Maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though you have family?
My family don't really live there no more.
Friends?
But they still hang there and stuff. But
friends?
Yeah, all my friends is there, bro. But they come see me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would have happened if you said, all right, all next week I'm just going to hang out in the corner all day long?
In Compton, I would never do that.
But if you were to do that.
If I was to do that, all my homies would be coming from all over, and ain't no telling what the fuck we might end up getting into. So I would never do that shit. Yeah.
Because you'd be the popular guy on the block.
Exactly, and it's like
word is getting around.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, BG. Yeah, he's there every day. He's been there for the last 3 days.
Bruh, I wouldn't do it. I mean, I go like them my people. So don't get it twisted. That's the tribe I'm from. You know what I'm saying? So I love them, bro. But I'm just trying to elevate past that mentality because it's mainly negative. Because if you doing something and you only get negative results, that's what the fuck it is. You understand what I'm saying? So all of my friends is pretty much dead and in prison. So why would I want to keep doing that? I don't think that way no more. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't live in that mentality. Like I don't want that for myself. You understand?
When you look at the mafia, there's a very specific hierarchy.
Right.
There is the mafia boss.
Commission.
There's the consigliere, you know, then there's the underboss, then there's the captains, and then there's the made men, right? Mexican mafia.
Same thing.
There's a leader. It's a military. You know, you look at any military, there's one general.
That's a paramilitary group pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
But whenever I talk to Crips and Bloods, you never hear about a single leader. Or even really black gangs in general. When I talk to
it was more democratic in that way.
BDs and you know, GDs and so forth.
Yeah, we didn't have that. I mean, I'm sure they tried it, but LA people are too prideful, man, to allow one person to tell them what to do, to be honest with you. Like my whole life's growing up, so I've seen one person might have the most say-so, but even he can get, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody will pop his ass too. Like people like crazy where I'm from. Like they don't really respect authority like that.
Well, but the thing is, though, when you look at any group of people, there's just certain people that are better at doing certain things. There's certain people at being leaders. There's certain people that are better at being workers. There's certain people.
I think anybody can be the best at anything, Vlad, if they habituate themselves to it.
I don't know.
That's what I
don't
believe.
know.
That's what I think. Because Jordan wasn't always the best ball player until he put the work in. You understand? Magic or anybody, bro. Like, they didn't come out the womb with them skills. They habituated themselves into them positions. You understand?
Right, but
like,
Muggsy Bogues,
it comes with practice.
Right, but Muggsy Bogues is the only guy under 5'8" that's ever played in the NBA for a reason.
Muggsy Bogues? What about the other little dude? Spud Webb and them.
Spud Webb. Okay, so there's one or two short people that have done, you know, decently well.
It's hard to be that good to play with them 7-foot people.
That's what I'm saying. So you are born with certain. Some people are taller. Some people are stronger.
I get that point.
Some people are short, like shorter.
Strong,
some
if
people,
you're weak, you can get strong too.
Right, and some people are naturally smarter.
Absolutely.
It just is what it is.
It's just what it is. Yeah.
You know, some people are.
I understand that point, but I'm just saying we all can tap into the same potential. I truly believe that.
I don't know.
That's just my belief. You can't make me think different about it.
I feel you.
We can agree to
disagree.
Yeah.
But when you look at, even though people could train to be as good as someone else based on your theory, there are certain people that are just out there that are like, look, this guy here is just better at organizing people. When there's problems, he's better at diffusing situations, and he's better at getting everyone to go along and follow this one direction. Whereas this guy, he may be stronger and he may be...
But he don't got the smarts.
But but whenever he's in charge at all, everything falls apart and everyone starts fighting with each other. But this guy's actually good at, like when you look at the major CEOs in the world, they're not always the smartest guys in the company. They're the ones that can handle people the best and get these different personalities.
They know how to position people.
They know how to position people. They know how to, take certain tasks and have other people do them, and and so forth. There's a corporate structure involved, and that's just what it is. So when you have all these gangs and all these groups of people, why are people not naturally rising to the top?
Because the gang mentality, as far as what I've seen, right? And I'm only 44 years old, so the gang mentality is that most of us hid our intelligence because it wasn't cool to be smart.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
Because I consider you a very intelligent guy.
Okay, but I'm one of the people I'm speaking about. Like, you know, I couldn't, you know what I mean? Because it's a gang mentality. You understand? It's everybody. You go along with the mentality.
So you
hide yourself.
You get praised more for being stupid.
Absolutely. The stupider you are, the more praise you get.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, you get praised for dumbing out.
Dumbing out.
Doing something that's not intelligent.
Shoot some, just walk up in front of everybody, boom, kill somebody.
Right.
You the hardest nigga on the planet at that time.
Right. Yeah. You did the most prison time. Mm-hmm. You got caught the most.
Foolish, huh?
Yeah, and I remember, Melvin Farmer talked about he was arrested like 45 times by the time he turned 18, and people were like, "Yo."
Actually, by the time I was 17, I had been arrested 40 times because they didn't have no juvenile laws for us. They didn't have no laws for carjacking, which they call it now. When we were doing it, it was GTA. We didn't get no time for having a tattoo. They get 10 years gang enhancements. So everything we were doing, there were no laws for juveniles doing the things that we were doing, or if they did notice them, it wasn't nothing because nobody hadn't been doing it like that before.
I'm surprised the judge would then throw him away, because that's what in my time, that's what I've seen happen.
This was before the gang rules.
Well, yeah, he's older, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, so it was like you couldn't even charge minors for certain things. You get arrested for something like, well, there's no technical law for this, so just get back out there and
I get it.
Go do it again, basically.
That's horrible.
That's interesting, though. Intelligence is not praised.
No.
You can't be a stupid D-boy, though.
Not at all. Well, you can, but you won't last long,
right.
But you can.
Because Freeway Ricky is very smart.
Absolutely. Come on, man. Yeah.
To build the type of operation that he built. Yeah.
Yeah. He looked at like the stuff he was serving. Like the people he was serving to, he kind of looked at like. So that's how we could never point him out, because he looked at like damn near like a smoker. Like about time I knew who he was, you know what I mean? He had dreads and his clothes would be just any old, you know, but it was the smart thing to do because he didn't stand out.
You know, people really underestimate like the power of, you know, a disguise.
That shit is super powerful.
Like, for example, I interviewed Jason Weaver the other day. He played Michael Jackson in the original Michael Jackson TV movie.
Oh, you talking about the young guy that was on that one show from
Smart Guy,
ATL and all that.
And he was in ATL, exactly.
Okay, yeah, I know you're talking about.
So he said that Michael Jackson came on set once in disguise. He had a beard.
Just watching everybody.
He said he looked like an old white man.
Right. That's smart.
There was one day that an announcement was made that he was coming. And I mean, the set went into a frenzy. I'm talking about crew members. These are professionals in Hollywood, man, that have worked with everybody. Man, the set's going ape shit. You know, you see security running around, all this, that, and the other. But it just so happened that day, he didn't come. I guess there was a conflict in schedule, whatever. And I guess it got back to him that, you know, a disruption had occurred when it was announced that he would possibly be coming. So when he eventually came to visit, an AD, I was on a break, and an AD assistant director pulled me over and said, "Hey, Jason, come to this trailer. Somebody wants to meet you," and blah. And so I came over to this trailer, and it was this, what I thought was like this older white guy kind of just sitting there. And then I looked, and when he started speaking, when I looked at his eyes, he was like, "Man, you're doing a great job. Doing a really good job, Jason." I was like, "Oh, shit. Michael?" He's like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm sorry I had to come like this, but, you know." I was like, "Dude, look."
What kind of disguise did he have? Explain it to me.
It was like, he had a beard for sure.
He had a fake beard.
He had a beard.
Wow.
Okay. He definitely looked like an older white guy. And I mean, even the clothes that he had on, because he was like cool with Rick Baker and shit. You know, the guy that did like American Werewolf and that did the makeup for Thriller and all of that.
Oh yeah, for the video, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was regarded as like Hollywood's biggest special effects makeup guy at the time.
He had a real.
So he was able to get real prosthetics and like real things.
Wow.
To be able to move. He would do that all the time.
because he had just done Thriller with like that special effects. You know, with the Hollywood caliber special effects.
Yeah.
Remember he was the werewolf?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So he kept working with that guy, and he would always go under disguise and just walk around the streets.
That's smart.
Nobody would know who he is.
I seen Eddie Murphy do that. Eddie Murphy did that. He became like an old white Jewish man or something like that, and went into a store and was trying to buy something get something without paying for it, as a white person, and the dude gave it to him, bro. Like. And then he came back as a black man, and it was like, nope. I swear to God. And that was like in the 90s, but yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, people want to show off and let everyone know that they're getting a bunch of illegal money.
It's stupid.
You know, because I remember I was hanging out with BMF, and it just like I was stunned. I was like we're all really pulling up in these Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and no one's got an album out, and
right.
You know, no one seems to be connected to a wealthy family or nothing. Like, it's kind of obvious where all this money's coming from. So
that's what you're supposed to learn from other people's mistakes, not your own.
Yeah.
You know? So
So you got something for me?
Yeah. So I started a clothing line called Hassani Clothing Company, and this is just some of the first shirts that I'm making, and I brought you one.
Okay.
And this is it right here. Do you like the color?
Yeah, I love it.
All right.
That's Eazy-E, of course.
No, that's me.
That's you?
We damn near kind of looked at it, favored each other pretty much. So yeah.
I guess you can't tell because it's a silhouette.
It's kind of hard.
It's a silhouette, right? I'm not at all saying this is something that I triggered. I remember about a year ago, I did an Instagram post with Eazy-E's Tombstone.
Okay.
And I was like, yo, this is kind of disappointing that someone on the caliber of Eazy-E
we all thought the same
has such a plain looking, low key tombstone. I remember everyone was like, man, fuck you. Like,
maybe it was a reason. Because from when we thought about it, and it was like a bunch of commotion. It was, we was talking about the lady Tamika and all that. And they were saying that they didn't want people to know exactly where it was, and that was kind of the reason why. That was kind of her excuse or whatever, because they didn't want nobody to desecrate it or no shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Well, just recently, they actually replaced the whole tombstone with like this really colorful, with like photos of Eazy.
That's what I would have done. If I had the wherewithal at the time, I would have did that.
That was dope, man.
That was super dope. Shout out to Erica.
Yeah.
Man. I love you for that, for sure.
I think Eazy still needs to be celebrated.
Come on, bro. Come on.
In 2019 and beyond.
You know what people like, let me just tell you, Vlad, this is the biggest thing that nobody ever considers. He was 30 years old when he passed away. Damn. Look at what he accomplished in his life, bro, in that short amount of time, as opposed to a Puffy and everybody else that's sitting, in that seat. Like he accomplished it very young. You know what I mean? He didn't have the run that some of these people have. He had a very short run, but it made a great impact. So so he definitely needs to be celebrated, bro. Come on.
Well, he started the LA hip hop family tree.
Pretty much. It was Ice-T. It was Ice-T, but he wasn't popular. He didn't make it popular like Eazy. Yeah.
Shout out to Ice-T. Ice-T's a legend.
I love him.
I fuck with him. Me and him communicate from time to time. I've interviewed him before. I bought his albums when they came out.
Absolutely.
But when I say family tree,
I understand.
When Ice-T stopped rapping, no one affiliated with Ice-T kept the torch going.
I got you.
With Eazy-E, Dr. Dre is still a major player. Yeah. Ice Cube is still a major player.
Eminem,
50 Cent, Kendrick Lamar, all signed to his label.
The Game even,
The Game, exactly. How could I forget The Game? Of course, who has Eazy tattooed on his arm. Like, all that really started from something that Eazy just thought of one day. You could say, oh, well, Dre would have made it anyways. No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
There is, I remember when I was talking to Marcellus Wiley, I believe, we were talking about the whole Kaepernick thing. He was like, look, there's someone out there right now that plays better than Jordan, but he just happens to be in prison. Or he was just... Yeah,
that's very true. That's absolute.
Or in high school, he ended up punching his coach in the face and getting kicked off the team.
Absolutely true.
Or he had a baby at 17 and derailed everything. Or he got
didn't have
killed.
the other pieces to the puzzle.
It's not just that one thing. It's the whole.
Yeah, it's a combination of
stuff. Combination and a good amount of luck to go together.
Absolutely.
Dr. Dre could have said, "Fuck it, this music shit didn't work. I'm gonna go back and work at Home Depot." You know, Ice Cube could have, you know, after his group CIA didn't work out, ended up going back to college and getting a business degree.
Right.
You know, and he'd be O'Shea.
Right.
The
Dr.
you know,
O'Shea, who knows?
Dr. O'Shea. you don't know. You don't know.
Right.
Like, you put people in a position and they run with it.
Right.
It's not just all them.
Right.
It's you putting them in that position and giving them that opportunity and exposing them to things. And really, Eazy-E was the root.
Yeah.
The root of that tree.
We all know that much, you know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing. And it's kind of, it's partially the industry's fault because they're not bigging them up. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's why I always tried, like what I wanted to do when I came home from prison was to make sure that we didn't forget him because he wasn't being mentioned the whole time I was gone. And especially not in a good vein, you know? It was always related to that stigma, you know, that came with his death. And it was like, so when I came home, I kind of lit that torch and I kind of lit it up under his kids. And, you know, everybody don't know, but we have parties for his birthday every year, bro.
Really?
Absolutely.
I want to go to one of these.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome.
Okay.
Like, we just had it when they did the unveiling of the tombstone that night.
Oh, should have told me.
I didn't think about it, but
it's in LA?
Yeah.
I would have came through.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I remember I posted up a top 50 rapper of all time list. And my top 5 was Tupac, Biggie, Ice Cube, Jay-Z, and Eazy-E.
That's a nice list.
I put Eazy as number 5.
That's a nice list.
And people were like, yo, he didn't write his own rhymes.
If you remember, that's only technical for people that rap, bro.
Right.
You can't look at it like that, yeah.
And if you remember that time, yeah, Ice Cube was probably the most skilled rapper.
He was.
But I think Eazy was everyone's favorite rapper.
He was, because he had the voice and he had the look. He had that. Yeah. He had that image.
He had the charisma.
And the charisma.
He had the comedy.
So without you even seeing him in an interview or seeing him talk personally, he had the image first. You know what I'm saying? The voice, nobody got a voice like that cat, bro.
It was a high-pitched voice.
That voice is amazing, bro.
It was regardless of who wrote the rhymes, his personality. This little dude that didn't give a fuck, who fucked all the girls, who drank all the liquor.
He was very involved in the music.
Who beat everybody up.
People they don't talk about that point. He was very involved in what he would say and what he wouldn't say and what he wanted in the music too. So don't get it twisted.
I believe
he was actively involved, yeah.
Well, because you wrote for him, or?
Yeah, me and my brother, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you would write for him and he'd be like, nah, let's take this out.
Yeah, whatever he didn't like, or he'd say the shit because like, I have it's some words that it's hard for me to say. You know what I'm saying? Like while I'm rapping it anyway. And he had the same thing. You know what I mean? So yeah.